Hello, guys. Can you hear me at the back? Sorry? No. So thank you very much for coming. This is the first personal project congress that IFFD is hosting, so very, very big event, historical. So I'd just like to welcome you to what we're having today. It should be a fantastic day. Our first sort of event, as it were, that's scheduled on the itinerary is an introduction from some of the big people in IFFD. So we have Maria, Letitia, a few others that I can't remember, I'm afraid. Sorry. We're only human, but we're here to learn to be better humans. So I want to pass you over.
Okay. Hello, guys. In personal project, everything is so much more relaxed. I'm so happy you have come. For some of you, you don't know me. I'm Maria Kemp, and I'm the UK board member who was in charge of starting personal project, relaunching, I suppose, personal project in the UK. I have to say, we loved it. We didn't want to give the job to anyone else because being with you fills us with energy. You are our future. We look at you and we think if only we had IFFD when we were young, we wouldn't have hit our heads against the wall so often. so we love your input. I want to share with you just one anecdote. When the first meeting about personal project happened, we were literally 4 people. My husband, me, and 2 young, naive people who thought this wasn't going to be much work. So we managed to sell it to them with a beer and a pizza. After 3 years, if you meet them, I'm sure Dom will explain to you that there is a tiny little bit more work than drinking a beer involved. But he has been an absolute gem, really, truly amazing. And with him, the team leaders that he put together that have managed to make it a sparkle. So that very first meeting led, a few months later, into our very first session of personal project with about 80 young people from all backgrounds, all values, all denominations in London, questioning whether this was going to be another talk. And it wasn't. And if anything you get out of here today, although you are going to have some amazing talks by some amazing speakers, please remember, it's not a talk. Personal project or anything to do with IFFD is not here to tell you what to do or who to be. Personal project is here to challenge you to think about the things that matter to you and therefore define you. So don't let anyone, don't let any of us tell you what to do or who to be, because then we got it wrong. This is not a talk, right? So that is the only thing I want to say to you. From that, we continue for 3 years, and we even created a whole program, thanks to listening to you, telling us what you need. So keep talking to us, keep telling us how to improve, how to make it yours, because we are not young anymore. I'm a grandmother. My grandchild is over there. So therefore, we need you. We need your feedback, we need your ideas, and we need your energy. With this, I'm going to pass you with the real boss, which is Javier Vidal-Quadras, who is the General Secretary of IFFD, who is going to say hello to all of you. Thank you, guys.
Does anybody knows how this works? Yeah, okay. Well, okay, thank you very much for coming. Yesterday, we were all the day working with the leaders of family enrichment from all over the world, the ones that lead the family enrichment centers in the 70 countries of IFFD, because we are engaged in a transformation process. We call it digital transformation, which is not making documents digital. We have the documents digitalized, obviously, but it's bringing about a change of culture that generates new business models with the user always in the center and using exponential technologies. And one of the main goals of this is joining younger people to the different bodies of family enrichment. So I don't know what they told you to invite you to this meeting, but we are looking forward to passing on you the baton of family enrichment activities in the world. Some when, I don't know, maybe tomorrow, maybe some years later. And I would like just in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, to explain you very briefly, or to give you very briefly an insight of IFFD. What we do and what we want to do and how we do it. This seems to be a congress or a day, because this is just a one-day congress. But we want to show you during the day of today is more than a number of talks or of roundtables. We would like to show you the endless and vast sea. As Antoine de Saint-Exupéry put it in this book, The Wisdom of the Sands. If you want to build a ship, don't drum up the men to gather wood, divide the work, and give orders. Instead, teach them to yearn for the vast and endless sea. And this is what we want to do today. So the most important thing today is enjoy these coming hours, share your experiences, learn, teach, and have a good time, and have fun also. We have this humble ultimate goal, changing the world for the better, family by family. But we want to do this in a specific way. The specific way is, was born in Spain in the late 60s, when the family had no problem. A bunch of fathers, in this case, who attended an MBA in a business school, IEC, in Barcelona, where they learned the case study method. And they thought, why we don't apply this method to the family in order to help parents to better educate their children, to strengthen their matrimonial bond, and to develop their personal, matrimonial, and family project. And they began to write some cases, some technical notes, and they brought to the world of the family this method they had learned in the entrepreneurship training. IFFD was first set up as a foundation in 1978, and in 1998, when we went to United Nations, this foundation was transformed into a federation. A federation is an association of associations. We have 70 associations of different nationalities currently. In 1978, as the pioneers had this worldwide approach to family enrichment, they had presence in these 13 countries, and today we are in 70 countries and growing. We are now starting in some countries, in Tanzania, in Tunisia, in Cabo Verde, in Korea, in Taiwan, and in, well, many other countries, step by step. We have two main branches: family enrichment, this is why you are here today, and family perspective. And Alex will explain, Alex Vázquez, our permanent delegate in United Nations, this sounds very strong, will explain our advocacy activity before United Nations, before the European Union and the international bodies to defend, promote the family in these arenas. And family perspective and family enrichment, the family enrichment courses, amongst them personal project. The way we approach to families is one by one. This is maybe our main trait, our main character, and we want to keep this always. We have the highest respect to the person. Families are made up of persons, and we think persons need and deserve a personal approach. So all of our activities depart from two principles. The first one is I have to devote time and to help families of others or other persons from within my own family. never neglecting my own family. First, I have to experience the benefits of family enrichment in my own family, in my own life. In your case, you are not married, but not all of you at least yet. And the second one is that all the activities we promote and we start and we develop and we consolidate are addressed to create the conditions for the personal treatment to be fostered. The conditions to deal with persons one-on-one. We prefer, or we believe more in transforming one single soul, one single heart, than manipulating the masses. We want to go one-on-one, as the first Christians did. They changed the world, not changing the structures, not changing the legislation, not changing the society as a whole, but changing every heart. And this is our approach, and this is our essence, and we will keep it forever. Obviously, we are now engaged in this process of incorporating new technologies, because we have to face with the modern world, but we will keep this personal approach forever. We have a portfolio of different courses. These are some of them, because, well, first letter, we have also first conversation, that's not here, first decision, pre-adolescence, adolescence, personal project, married love, with 3 levels, married love 1, 2, and 3, and because, well, married love is forever, so we have different levels, or we think it's forever, or should be forever, and can be forever, and grandparents. And you are here because of the personal project that we have now 2 courses of personal project, and we are elaborating a new one. And well, with this we can develop as many courses as we need. Personal project 1, 2, 3, depending on the needs of every country. Maria has the experience of developing a personal project 2 on the go, so no problem. We have many other activities, Verano Diferente, Family Summer, in the Cerler, Formigal, Porta Inés, Sierra Nevada in Spain, Colorado in United States, St. Petersburg in Russia. Family Visioning is an activity in the Philippines. This is this one below is Marriage Enrichment Weekend in Australia, and many other activities, always addressed to help families to be happier. And we have also a special activity to reach out low-income or diverse families. We call it Families Without Barriers. And we are developing it we're imparting in some countries, attending especially the low-income and the immigrant families, the families with a diverse culture in a country, to share experiences. We don't want to teach anyone anything. We want to share experiences, and this is a way of accompanying these families and help them to join the new culture, the new country they have living, they have get to. Well, some figures, we are in 70 countries, more than 200 cities, almost 800 courses, with the help of more than 2,000 moderators and more than 7,000 volunteers. Amongst them, some of you are included, and 30,000 participants each year. We give 30,000 participants in our courses. We have another activities, conferences, lectures. We don't count these participants or the people attending the Congress. This is just in the participants that attend a course of family enrichment, personal project, or any other of the courses. And in terms of countries, we have this distribution in Europe, the 42%, in America, 45%, in Africa, 11%, and in Asia, Oceania, 2%. And the influence of personal project that is growing, probably the figure now is higher because these are figures from last year. We are in the 2 hemispheres, and in the North Hemisphere closed the courses in August, and we are receiving still the numbers. But personal project, we are we trust a lot in personal projects, and we think it's really the future of family enrichment. And, well, family perspective, Alex will explain. We have the general consultative status in the UN, and we try to influence any resolution and any meeting that in the UN and other international arenas they have regarding family. We got the recognition of IFFD's method as a best practice by United Nations, and, well, Alex will give afterward more details about that. This is the complex and big structure we have to manage all of this. For these 4 people, no, many others, but this is more or less what we could call the staff. Well, the people that bear the burden of the day-to-day activity of family enrichment. Mario Armela is our president, a Mexican. Leticia Rodriguez, we will, well, probably all of you know Leticia. Leticia is the director of family enrichment in IFFD and the one that leads and takes care of all the family enrichment courses in the world. Lorena Fernandez that takes care of the office, all the administrative tasks, and also the expansion of family enrichment with Leticia, and myself as a Secretary General, the one who obeys to all the others that give orders. And we meet weekly in this management committee virtual meetings via Skype, now via Zoom. It's another application that we are now testing in this process of bringing in exponential technology. And also we hold a meeting with the neighbor countries every week with different group of countries in order for them to share experiences and help one another. And then we have these technical committees that also managed by Leticia, and they meet every 3 weeks or every month. The English, the French, the Spanish, and the German technical committee. They review all the technical notes, the cases, all the materials. They propose, they suggest, they receive the suggestions from the countries, they incorporate them, and then they try to have all the courses up to date, and this is their work. And now we're starting up 2 more, the Portuguese and the Russian technical committee, as we have more than 2 countries that speak these languages. Normally we need at least 3 countries speaking a language to start up a new technical committee. And we have 28 countries involved in the technical committees. This is a very, this was a very good way of having them really sharing the problems that they have and helping one another to solve their problems, because normally a problem that arises in a country has been solved in another country some years ago. So we have these 28 countries involved in the technical committees. And, well, this is the Congress. We have these 2 Congress at the same time. The main Congress, which is in some floor below, I don't know, the second floor, and this one. Yesterday we had the World Meeting of Leaders, and simultaneously we had 2 PMOFs, 2 or 3? 4. Which languages? English, French, and Spanish. 4 PMOFs, English, French and language and Spanish. The PMOF is an intense training course for moderators, and well, it was really a good time to also to learn, to share, and to get new leaders of family enrichment centers, because in the PMOF we don't only teach how to moderate a session, we teach how to manage a family enrichment center. And, well, we want to change the world, but how come? I have explained the way we went, respecting the person, going to one by one to each of every person and each of every family in the world, and we trust that you will receive this token, this button, this challenge, and will bring it forward. Changing the world is really a huge challenge, but we think we can get it, because any of us has a wide scope of influence in the others. I read a book 2 years ago called The Happiness Advantage from Sean Aker, an American scholar and very well-known psychologist and writer. And he wrote there that Fowler and Christek is estimate that there are nearly 1,000 people within 3 degrees of most of us that receive impact from us and whose behavior can be unconsciously shaping. This is a true ripple effect. Ripple are these waves that you create when you remove the water. Ripple effect. By trying to make ourselves happier and more successful, we actually have the ability to improve the lives of 1,000 people around us. So if we arrive to 30,000 people a year through the activities of family enrichment, with our hard and time-consuming activities that make really the difference in the happiness of a family, because there are, it's not a lecture, there are at least you have to attend 6 sessions, multiplied by 2, the general session and the team meeting, so 12 sessions. This really makes the difference. And we multiply 30,000 by 1,000, we get 30 million. I think it's enough to begin a revolution. But if these 30 million the next year do the same, then we will have 30,000 millions, which is 4 times the world population. So in theory, mathematically, in 2 years, we should be able to change the world as we want to do it. And obviously, we count on you. So thank you very much for coming. Enjoy this day, this Congress. Make good friends. And we count on you also in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Javier. And just as you have been introduced to the ocean, just keep swimming. Don't worry. The ship is coming. Now, our next speaker is Alex. He is our representative in the United Nations, just to widen the ocean even a bit further. But bear with us. The ship is coming.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria. Well, how you doing, everybody? Good morning. I'm actually nervous. I'm used to talk to ambassadors and ministers and presidents, but not to millennials. That's the worst thing to do, because I have to keep you up and everything. And that's why I'm going to ask you if you can make us trending topic. Those are our accounts and hashtags, so I don't care if you multitask, post, text, shop, whatever you do, just, give us some feedback online of what are we doing and how we're doing. So it's good. I actually learned this from, and everybody might have done the same, that it's good to start with a story. So it's interesting because I've seen many families that are nice and you see from outside that are kind of perfect, but my family was not like that. I mean, divorced parents, annulled marriage. I have I would say two parents, 2 mothers. And at the end, summing them up, I have like 10 siblings, I think, from different, two different mothers or something. But when I was looking for a job in New York, at the beginning, they told me, oh, do you want to do this? And I was like, no. I know how difficult the family is. I don't want to get into the UN for that. But it happened. They passed like 3 years, and I ended up working for IFFD. And it's amazing because the background that I didn't want it, but I have, make me understand many more situations within the family. And especially because if somebody comes and, oh, no, you only support perfect families. I was in an event organized by Nigeria, and the moderator was from the Baha'i community. They're this kind of syncretist organization with all of the religions are good, and they have a message of peace. So he was organizing it, and a lady from the audience said, hey, Alex, yeah, but IFFD only supports perfect families, and you're so perfect. And so what about migrant families or single parents? So the moderator told me, Alex, behave. Because he knew that I was going to kind of trample on her. So I actually told her, look, my background is this, and that's why I'm advocating for this, because IFFD has the key to prevent this kind of situations that I have endured with all my family. So you're in that moment. Actually, there's a friend of mine from the UN who works for the Secretary General, and she is actually from Sevilla, probably Catholic background. Well, no, she's Buddhist. And she told me, Alex, I'm going on a retreat with the Secretary General upstate New York. And can I ask, what is the retreat about? And she said, yeah, it's about youth. Oh, can you mention somewhere about our courses? And she said, oh, send me something. And then she mentioned those, and that's why they told us, oh, you're not only about family. Well, I said, well, we support young families and good young families. So that's why I think that the personal project minimizes all those challenges, problems, disasters that you may have to face in the future by knowing each other, knowing your project of life, that is going to be your wife, husband. And that's why I think this is so important. And I was last night with some of you, and I was impressed of the people from all over the world. Australia, Rachel, somewhere there. People from Spain, Bea and Alejandra. And I was wondering, wow, if the UN was this, I can tell them, oh, go to these young guys because they have the solutions for many of your problems. Because our motto at the UN, after UNICEF asked me, hey, guys, what are you doing here? Because we are part of the executive committee, UNICEF Executive Board. And then they invited us to the NGO committee on UNICEF that I'm actually now chairing, so it's kind of a challenge. They ask us, like they always do, why family? I mean, because they have this kind of stigma of, we don't want families. And I told them, well, better parents, better children, better societies. And since then, they have been inviting us to many, many more events. So, I mean, I'm only one there, so sometimes they tell me, oh, what are you leaving? Because I'm the only one in the office. Or now, for example, these days are discussing all these resolutions on family, rights of the children, youth inclusion. And when I told Save the Children, SOS Children Villages, and Child Fund, I told them, I'm leaving for London. And they say, what? I mean, IFFD knows about advocacy? I mean, yes, but I only have this for every 4 years. So now the UN, I'm going to tell you something about the UN. I think Javier mentioned some of this. IFFD is kind of if we already have 70 NGOs in each country, then we have separations within IFFD, the family enrichment courses, IFFD Foundation, and what is my office would say, family perspective, that we are at the UN now and in the European Union. So this is basically the UN, all these goals that are to be achieved in 2030. It's more complicated, the system, but a snapshot is this. And we have decided that we are not going to include any goal of these 17 goals mentioned in the family, but all of them. Because you can have the family in any of them. And this is where IFFD is in the middle of all the mess of this bureaucracy of the UN. So you have agencies and funds, you have the Secretariat, which is New York. You have other agencies and funds like Habitat, the Food and Agriculture Organization. You have academias and some of the banks that have funded our projects like Caixa. And you have the capitals. I mean, your capitals. That they send cables, they send instructions. Oh, please don't trust IFFD. Oh, please trust IFFD. Oh, IFFD is doing a great job on parenting. IFFD is doing this on youth inclusion and transitions. So we want to impact on not only in capitals, but at the UN. And when you come to the UN, and obviously there are many other NGOs that are working in the world, but when you come and tell them, I'm in 70 countries, and I have all these things, they say, oh, you're kind of serious. Actually, they were asking me, if every country has instructions from capital, what are your instructions as IFFD? And it's actually the declaration that's going to be signed tomorrow by all the parents. So when I tell them, oh, my instructions from headquarters are the decisions of parents all around the world. So they say, oh, that's interesting. Then you have to go to London. And this is what we do. I mean, we are at the UN recommending, sharing practices like this one. Hey, Sevillana Budista, please can you share about our youth products to the Secretary General? We participate at the UN in many events. Actually, every month there's something coming up. Last month I was with Trump and all these other presidents that were in New York. And you can find them in the corridors, and they say, oh, what are you, like, NGO? Yeah, okay. IFFD, what is that? So you get to explain a little bit, probably in 10 seconds. And they know that the family is well represented there. But it's not kind of, only well represented, but it's in a position where most of the NGOs are not. So there's kind of a pool of 4,000 NGOs with a special consultative status that might support, I don't know, crabs in the world or the burgers or ecological things. But they're kind of, that's why they're called special. They have a special, like whales or something. But we are there because family is of general interest for the whole world and the UN. And not only because of that, because we are in 5 continents, we have a good representation there. That's why I have to be there. And that's why Javier has used the permanent. And those are the things. And also, we cannot have more than 30% of our budget donated by one single donor. We have to have varied donors, just to be accountable. And you would say, oh, but what is the UN saying about us? And this is one of the ladies that is pretty high up in the division of social inclusion that has family, youth, persons with disabilities, older persons, and indigenous people. She is saying this about us. And it's great because we didn't expect this. So I'll let you with her a little bit, and I'll prepare for the next part of the session.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, friends and new acquaintances. I am Daniela Bass, the Director of the Division for Social Policy and Development at the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs in New York. As a representative of civil society present in so many countries, the IFFD is an important partner of the division I lead. As you know, the Department of Economic and Social Affairs is the focal point on the family for the whole UN system and has decided that it is hosted in the Division for Social Policy and Development. So we are the house of the family. And we're very grateful for your support over the years. By being at the UN, IFFD can see firsthand what issues are at stake, what are the development priorities, what strategies can be used to achieve them. IFFD can participate in the proceedings of the Commission for Social Development, which is the body of the Economic and Social Council. It's an advisory body. It's a main organ of the UN. I am aware that IFFD organizes side events of the Commission which help raise awareness of the importance of family policies to achieve a number of development goals. And I have had the privilege of participating in some of these events. IFFD also participates in events organized by member states and the civil society, where it can bring a family perspective to the discussions which may otherwise lack such a perspective. At the United Nations, it is also important to network with government officials, other NGOs, and academics who take part in panel discussions at various events. I believe civil society should be active in all these endeavors. And I'm pleased to see IFFD so active at this international forum. I thank you very much and wish you all success.
Well, I can assure you that we haven't given her any money for this. We just have inviting her to events. So this is kind of our secret, you would say, in terms of advocacy. So we don't want to tell the countries what they have to do. We just want to tell them, oh, look, this is working for us. This might be a solution for you in your country. Or it's been a solution in this country. Do you want to meet them? So that's how we influence from data, this family perspective, together with what's happening in the households, to the reports sent not only by the Secretariat, by this lady on the wheelchair, but also from the capital in your countries. So it's mainly a long shot of let's try this, let's try that, let's tackle youth in the family, let's tackle older persons in the family, let's tackle parents in the family, all the groups that might be interested for this. And here you can see all the main sessions that we have. To understand it better, it's like a World Cup, okay? So you have group phase, ABC, so everybody's kind of fighting for their scores. Then you have July, the semifinals, ECOSOC, everybody comes, is the worst, actually. Don't go in July, because it's, I mean, the subway is horrible. It's all super hot. Everybody goes there and nobody really does anything. So then you have like friendly matches here about, you know, disabilities, persons aging. And then you have the final, where everybody has to decide what to include from those decisions up there. So you have the first one that is social development, that's ours. That's where we kind of organized the event about family IFFD briefing. And this year was about youth transitions, about what is the role of the family in supporting the youth transition from education to a job market. Then the Commission on Women, they love us. I don't know, all the feminists, they love us because we promote work-family balance, and they're like, oh, recognition of unpaid care at home, that's what we want. And then April, this is the Commission on Population and Development that used to be the one, oh, we are overpopulating the world, and now we're aging, and we need to fix that. Or our young guys are staying at home, cared by their parents or grandparents, and they're not leaving. They're not getting married. That's why we organize personal project now. So the one who got this is where, I mean, it's happening now, you see? September, November is where they really want to influence. And all my colleagues from NGOs are there. And it's who, actually, it ends with Thanksgiving. So it's kind of a celebration. And it ends with Thanksgiving because that's kind of deadline. You want to go and celebrate Thanksgiving? So finish this. Because they can end up forever discussing things. So these are our main topics during these three kind of group phase of the World Cup. So first we have work-family balance, time poverty at home between parents and children. So how to ensure that, and the recognition of unpaid care. Then share responsibility again at home, and equal opportunities for men and women, because many countries, they measure their social policies based on 2 wages at home, not only 1. What if, in terms of gender equality, women want to stay at home, taking care of their children? So that's why we kind of advocate for that. And then intergenerational relations, grandparents at home, and then the youth transitions and their integration in society. And then we have projects, because many countries say, oh, you're an NGO, we don't trust you. You're ideologically based, or you're religious, or I say, no, just parents. Ideology, no. We have projects done by the same people that you're paying to get data. So they're like, really, who am I paying to? UNICEF, Habitat, and the European Union. And that's kind of the money that we haven't even seen, but it's given to the experts researching projects on. The first one actually discovered one important thing of the price of divorce in Europe and the impact on children. The second is starting, as you see, 2017 is going on, and it's about how to make cities more family-friendly. And the last one is done, but is in a dissemination phase. It's done by, it's a bomb, because nobody wants to talk about this, the Sustainable Development Goals in families. And we put them together, like, yeah, we're gonna talk about them. And we got UNICEF on board. It's not paid by anybody more than a kind of neutral fund from a bank in Spain. And that's our logo, actually. And just to finish, this report, this is the report. You see IFFD, UNICEF. This was a bomb. Every country was like, even Samoa, I don't know, it's really small. They told us, I need to talk to you, can I work with you? Like, we cannot pay you, but yeah, you can work. But they are really like shocked with this, because you're putting together that the best way to achieve the SDGs in 2030 is through the family unit. And then these are the experts, Russia, Barcelona, Romania, Poland, Australia, England, Japan, and me, that's Ecuador. And then, not only that, but UNICEF started this new, and they invited us this July, that's why my boss went there, so. And they started this new initiative called Family Friendly Policies. It's about time. And they used our same motto, better parents, better families, better children. So we were like, thank you. And that's our way to influence. And even UN Women, which really against family, had to publish a report of their own because of the influence of our reports on UNICEF and other agencies. And well, this is our partners. This is when I got to talk about youth transitions in Qatar last year. So they're actually here downstairs. This is the largest Arab organization of the Middle East on doing research. You know, in the Arab region, it's really difficult to get data because they don't open the doors to you, or they don't tell you the truth. So if you go with one of the locals, funded by the Qatar Foundation, you get to know them. And this is what I did. I mean, let's link the role of the family in the youth transitions. And they liked it, and they invited us to Doha with many others from around the world. And they have money to pay anyway. This is during the Commission on the Status of Women. As you see, I'm surrounded. Here's UNICEF in July. This organization has come today as well. I mean, for this Congress, this is the first Congress. You're not the specials, sorry. This is obviously the first Personal Project Congress, but it's the first time that IFFD invites other NGOs. Because, I mean, we said, I'm telling you what we do, but it's better if you hear from others what we are doing. And that's what they are gonna say, I think, today in the roundtable. And this is the NGO committee on UNICEF with Child Fund, Save the Children, and SOS Children Villages. Each one of them has more than 1.5 billion of budget every year. And we don't have even barely that. And this is what we do with youth, with young guys, to show them how we advocate at the UN for family. So I've been in Madrid and in Budapest. Actually, Melinda, who's back there, was the one organizing the last one in Budapest. And it's interesting because it's like, we're going to show you that this is possible. Talking about family at the UN without raising your voice, within the system, like sneaking into UNICEF, sneaking into the Secretariat, it's possible. If you do it in a professional, evidence-based, and totally diplomatic way. Probably is a long way, yes. But we've seen that it's the only way to make the family kind of the center of many policies in the world. And that's it.
Okay. How many of you are thinking now? Definitely, that you can now see the vision and the impact we're hoping to keep having in the world and the future. The last one I'm going to introduce, and then we're going to start having some fun, is our Director of Operations. So I'm going to describe Leticia as actually the rest of us see her. Forget the title. She's the yelling agent. So she puts the world together with her perseverance, her Skype meetings, her Zoom meetings, her WhatsApps, her anything, her just constant smile, patience, understanding of cultures, and absolute faith in people. So I'm going to leave her with you, and with that we'll finish.
Thank you. Did you notice that she says, I'm going to introduce you to Leticia, she's going to talk, and then we'll have some fun. Thank you, Maria. Okay, so how many of you have participated in a personal project course already? Raise your hands, please. Raise them high. Raise them high. Okay, half the room. Great. The rest you have to do, okay? So, my boss, Javier, was talking about IFFD, how we got here. We have 50 years in our back, not in my back, because I'm only 40. And then we have had Alex talking about the UN. I was going to talk about how personal projects started. We had been developing many family enrichment courses for the parents because we needed the parents to be together, because that is the way their children are going to be happy if they have happy parents who love each other and who teach them how to love. But the thing is, we were focusing on the parents, we were focusing on them teaching the children, but then we said, the thing here is that when people get married, if they get married, they don't have the tools to love. They have not had the time to stop and make good decisions in their lives. They haven't had the chance to talk with other people about things that matter, not only about law or about economics or about things that you do at the university, but about important things, about friendship, about relationships, about work and family balance, about work and life balance, about communication skills. And so we said, well, I'm not going to fall, don't worry. You're looking at me like, she's going to fall, she's going to fall. No, I'm not going to risk it. So we said, we have to focus on the people who are not yet married. So when they finally get married, if they do, they are going to have an easier life and a fulfilling life. And we elaborated the personal project, and we did it first in Spanish, then we translated it into English. And I was there in the launching of the first English-speaking personal project that we launched in London. We are going to have later Dom, who is the one who has been coordinating these 3 years of personal project in London. And he was kind enough to bring me breakfast because I didn't have breakfast today with all the work I had to do. And I was about, my head was about to explode. So thank you, Dom, you're so kind, thank you. So what we have done with this personal project is really focus with use the case method, that is helping the people, like Maria said. It's not about older people telling you what you have to do. This is what you have to do. This is the correct way. This is the only path you have to follow. But it's giving you a tool, a methodology that you are going to share with other people and make your own decisions. by sharing with other people of your same age, of different sex maybe, and same sex. And then you are going to learn from them many things that you didn't have those insights, and we are giving you the chance to have those insights from people who are in your same situation. So that is why we made Personal Project 1. Then we made Personal Project 2, and Dom is going to explain that later, how we got that on, like on the go. And we are also we also did another course that Personal Project, as you know, is for people who are starting their professional lives or already on them. And then we thought, well, but younger people need to start thinking on their lives and stop and think about them even earlier than in their professional lives. So they need to do this already when they are at college, right? Already when they are coming out of age at 18. So we elaborated a course for 18-22. This is a brand new course that we have not yet offered, but we are going to have Alejandra and Fran in the roundtable that they are going to explain how we got that done. So today you are going to have wonderful speakers. You are going to have Shanti Felhan. She's going to come from the United States. She just arrived. She's going to talk about the difference between men and women. Then we are going to have Art and Lorraine Bennett. They are a wonderful couple who have 4 children, and each of them is of a different temperament. I don't know if you know about temperaments. It's my passion. So it's how we are all born different and how that wires us differently. And that makes us so special, so individually special. And then we are also having Andrew Mullins. I call him Andy. So Andrew Mullins is coming all the way back from Australia, 24-hour flight, stopping in Hong Kong. And he is going to talk to you about is happening as yes lack. So you are going to enjoy very much that. We are also going to have the roundtable that I have been talking to you about with people who are going to share their experiences of running personal project in the Philippines, in Spain, in New York. Maria, Mary, are you here? Here, hi. Great, so from New York, and Kem, are you here? Kem? Yeah, great. See you later. Okay, so these are going to be the ones that are going to be in the round table, and they are going to share the experiences of personal project in the 5 continents. I hope you enjoy very much. Thank you very much.